John, and this is Jennifer Spencer. We're with Spencer Properties. We want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Keeping You in the Know. And one of the items that we wanted to bring up today is that we get asked all the time from our clients when they are getting ready to buy a house if they should or how they should sell their house first. It's a delicate balance. You've got a house to sell, but you're getting ready to buy a house. So which one do you do first, or do you do them together, or how would you advise people on that topic?
We do hear that question a lot, and I think that is one of the things that's stressful about buying a new home is how do you manage that transition between your old home and your new home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of different ways to approach this. One way that people handle it is they go ahead and buy a home and move into it, and once their current home is empty and everything's moved out of it, they put the house on the market. That's not a bad way to go. One of the concerns that sellers have about that approach is my house going to show as well with everything out of it if the house is empty? And my answer to that question is absolutely yes. When builders sell homes, and they sell thousands of homes all over the country, they generally sell them empty. The spec homes that they sell them empty, and they do just fine. The only time selling a house with no furniture in it could be a problem is if the rooms are really small. If it's a particularly small home with small bedrooms, it's better to leave a double bed or a queen in the room to show that the room is actually bigger big enough to accommodate, because a lot of times they look smaller when they're empty than they do when they have furniture in them. For a home that's a good size, it's just really not a concern. Not many people have that option though, because that means you've got to be able to qualify for having two houses at once. So the typical plan is I put my house on the market, sell it, and then we go find a home to buy. And the concern there is one of two things. Either I'll be in a rush to buy the next house and I'll end up choosing something that's really not the best fit because I'm in a hurry, I'm under pressure, or I'm going to have to move twice. I'm going to have to move into a temporary housing situation until we can find the new house. So we don't want either one of those things to happen. What I will tell you is we do this all the time, where we coordinate selling and buying to actually happen on the same day, where closings happen on the same day, and we really do not run into those situations. We don't have situations where someone has to move twice. We don't have situations where someone has to settle for a house that's not a good fit. But the way we handle that is while you're preparing your house for market, while your house is on the market to sell, you will be out looking at other homes that are a possible match. Now, the challenge there is you can't fall in love with a house, but we'll be looking for a house that's a potential match, so that when we do put your house under contract, we at that point can go out and you've really got it narrowed down to what it is you're looking for, what's going to be a good fit, and we will find you a house. We really will find you a house. A lot of people worry about that, but it works out. If you do find a house before your house is on the market, before we have an offer on your house, we can make an offer on that house and make it contingent upon the sale of your home. Now,
Got options.
doing that makes your offer not as strong because there's a contingency there. So the seller giving the choice between a contingent offer and a non-contingent offer is going to take the non-contingent offer. So we would rather not be in that position. Another way you can handle it is you make an offer on another home with an extended due diligence period, meaning you have more time to decide whether you want the house or not. And that way you're going to be more competitive, but you can hold the house for a certain period of time in the hopes of getting your house sold. And we've done that strategy as well. We know exactly what we need to do to get a house sold very quickly. So when we get to that point, we can say to you, okay, if you like this house, let's put it under contract, and then we can do some adjustments to your price to get it sold right away. There's always that option. But most of the time what happens is we do the homework, we do the legwork while your house is being prepared, while your house is on the market. Then the day we get the contract on your house, we then go out and find the new home. And
that's the best situation.
It is. It really does work out just fine. It really does. In North Carolina, the way the closings work, and this is different in other states, the day that you close, you have to be completely out of your house. It has to be vacant and move-in ready for the next buyer. So you have to have everything in a moving truck, go to closing, close on on the house you're leaving, and close on the house you're buying. Once those funds transfer and the deed is recorded, you get handed the keys to the new house. So it could be the next day until you get the keys to the new house. So you might need to store your belongings on a truck for overnight, before you can move into the house.
Which is common, that happens.
It is. So you either can do it all in one day or maybe an overnight. But that's pretty typical, but you don't have the option of leaving everything in the house. So it is a balancing act. One thing that people will often ask is, do I need to have the same person listing my house that's representing me on the buy side? And I really think that's a good idea because of the coordination of all of this. It just eliminates potential hurdles of making this transition go smoothly. We do this every day. We help people sell by simultaneously. We do it all the time, many transactions throughout a year. And we have gotten really good at coordinating this whole process, and we'll help you through it. So we don't want you to be worried about how we're going to make it happen. We will make it happen, and we will make it go smoothly. It just takes some logistics and planning and coordinating. The only other thing I will say is I think it's important anytime you're buying a home, whatever your situation is, whether you're selling an existing home or moving from a rental property or moving from living with a family member, you need to understand that close dates are not always rock solid, and things can come up. And I always say, treat your close date a little bit like a due date with having a baby. It's everyone's best estimate about when the baby's going to come. But like we know from 4 out of 4 children all arrive late. Yeah. Sometimes they don't come on their due date, and sometimes houses don't close on their closing date because so many details have to fall into place in order for a house to close. Yeah. And if any one of those items doesn't take place, there can be a delay. So what we do try to prepare buyers for is that possibility that could happen. So be sure you have a contingency plan. If you have your items on a truck, have a plan for what you're going to do if closing gets delayed. It's usually not delayed very long, but just have a contingency plan. Have a place to go where you can sleep, and don't let that get you too rattled if you're in that position, because it does occasionally happen. So again, we'll help prepare you for all that. We do everything we can to prevent delays, but sometimes it could be 2 or 3 transactions back. It could be your seller's buyer couldn't buy that house because their house they're selling didn't sell. So it can. There's so many pieces to it that could potentially cause an issue. So just be prepared with a contingency plan, and you'll be fine. But at the end of the day, people buy and sell houses on the same day and move all on the same day more often than not, and it happens every day of the week. So it can be done. It just takes some coordinating.
So we've got a lot of experience to help you with that process. Hopefully it works out ideal like that. If not, we will creatively come up with a way to, get through this process. So that was really helpful. Hopefully everything goes very smoothly as we outlined here, and hopefully you have both closings on the same day. If they don't, those things happen. We've got a lot of experience there. We can help you with that. So we'll hope for the best, and with our experience, should be able to provide some good insight there. So anyway, Jen and I both really appreciate your time. Thank you for listening in. And once again, appreciate you listening to Keeping You in the Know.